Yo, what up? What up? What up, Nicky Nick? How you been? It's been a little while, huh?
Hey, hey. I was trying to let my ponytail rock to the music. See me? Trying to get my white girl on.
A little bit.
What's up, my brother? How are you?
I am good. A lot of things, a lot of things, a lot of good things actually. I can honestly say that, so I have no complaints. How's everything on your end?
I was
You're
I
doing a
was
lot
pretty
of
sick last week.
you're
Um,
doing a lot
I
of
almost ended up
moving,
in the
right?
hospital. It was real bad. Had a hard time breathing and some other stuff. I actually took off 2 days of work because I was so under the weather. But I'm good now. Got my voice back. I can breathing clearly.
That
Both nostrils
you
are
was
working,
like all
you
over,
know?
all over the country. You know
It
what I
was
mean? You was
bad.
moving. You was moving, moving, moving. You had what y'all call it? Convention
National
for Delta Sigma.
convention. Mm-hmm.
He was rocking that out. Then you did the turnaround real quick, back to Georgia, and then right
Again,
back. You
remind me of
yeah,
that foolishness.
a lot of road work. You getting sick is, it's unfortunate, but it's not surprising because your body, you going nonstop. You need rest.
Yeah. I
You know what
mean,
I'm saying?
I try to balance it out. I have been doing pretty good though. The week before that, I have been walking every day, lost a few pounds here and there. I've been meal prepping. If I didn't meal prep, I probably wouldn't have ate a couple of them days. But since I already had the stuff prepared, made it easy to just go warm it up, you know?
When
My,
I tell you, I've been in that gym,
I love
been
that for you.
starting. As band camp done started, you know what I mean. So we just been rocking and rolling. So when you've been super busy, I've been super busy. That's why I know you need to get that sleep because my body has been.
Yeah,
I've been feeling it, you know what I mean.
yeah,
So me just the way I've been feeling it, like I understand, like rest is definitely needed on both of our ends. You know what I'm
for sure.
saying?
So that's
I
why we're so
definitely.
late, Hill family. It's life's been moving and shaking, but good stuff, right? We're happy with what it is. So, God got us. I'm not too worried about it. We just gotta let our bodies rest. And honestly, I'd rather you rest sometimes because you be in so late and still trying to push yourself to record. I just, you know what I'm saying? We can push it, you know? We'll get ahead of it one day.
Oh, you know what's funny is because I was about to say yellow, right? And I posted something today where it was funny. It was Charlie Brown and it was Snoopy.
Hmm.
And Charlie Brown in the bubble said, "Hey Snoopy, you only live once, right?" And then Snoopy in his bubble said, "Wrong. You only die once. You live every day." So now I was like, I be skeptic of saying YOLO now, right? Because it's
I mean,
like,
that was pretty
because I don't,
good. Y'all honestly should post that. I haven't heard that before. That's true. You only die once.
you
That's,
only
yeah.
you
Yeah,
live
you have to
every
sing that.
day. I like felt like I had a high moment. Like I was like, you do only die once.
Hey, that epiphany, yeah,
I was like, that's deep, and I'm
that
out here
is
saying,
deep.
yo, I like that.
Yeah, that's real deep.
That just ain't had me in my head like, dang, Drake, you got us out here looking stupid, man. You only die once. You live every day, bro. Right. So, Hellman family, man. Let's get into it, right?
We're episode
Uh,
19, right? We grown. 19. You want me to
Within
recap
that,
it for us?
before you recap it, I just want to kind of tell him, Hillman family. I don't know how many of our followers and listeners are parents, right? Yeah. She's about to break down this episode, but it's gonna hit. The parents is gonna hit. If you ain't a parent, yeah, maybe not. But the parents is gonna hit. You know what I mean? So for those that aren't parents, sit in the kid's perspective, and it's gonna hit on that perspective, right? Okay, Nicky Nick, let's get
Okay,
into
what's
it. What
crazy
was that?
though is I've seen the episode so many times. Like we were supposed to record this literally a month ago, and I had some different feelings than I do fast forward a week ago, watched it again because
But you also had different experiences from the first time you watched it compared
that's
to
my
now.
point. It's different. So, Him FM, new fans who might be listening, we always do spoilers. So if you haven't watched the episode, we highly recommend you go ahead and get your different world on. It's still streaming on Netflix. And then hear us because we're gonna tell it all that happens. And on this episode, this is the first time we see her mom. This is the first
First time.
time Claire Huxtable comes to the scene at her old alma mater. Huh?
We seen that, but
We've
this is
seen
the first
that. We've
time.
seen the grandfather. We've seen sisters, but we have not seen the mom yet. Even on the phone,
First,
she calls home. We hadn't heard from her, so she's back, right? And she's
I, oddly, mom never answered the phone. You never noticed that?
yeah. That's what I'm saying. We haven't seen her. It wasn't her
Never.
contract.
Like she work,
I
never
mean,
answered the
Keisha's
phone.
probably the cheapest person to pay for those little,
Right, because you know
pop-ins.
the brother sister answered the phone either.
No, just Keisha.
It's Keisha.
Just Keisha.
Let
So,
me-
mom comes to visit to check on her child, and she gets dropped with this bombshell that, well, she actually came with her own bomb, and then she found out that Denise had plans for her as well. So the episode goes
yeah,
back and forth about that mother-daughter relationship, money, responsibilities, and how your friends support you and grind out. That's fair.
right. That's fair. That
All
is
right.
definitely fair.
So first things
I
first,
can.
Mama and Money. How'd you feel about her telling Denise she had to get a job?
Um, I want to say I come from that type of household, right? Like, there's only so much you can do, you know what I mean, without helping yourself. I'm a person who had a job at 15, you know what I mean, got the worker's permit, working at the grocery store. Like, my parents was all for it, you know what I mean? And that's before college. Like, I had the job at the grocery store. I had a job at the baseball stadium. I even worked at a pretzel shop and McDonald's.
At the
During the
same
summer, I
time?
had three off rip. During the summer, I was at Auntie Anne's Pretzels, McDonald's, in the baseball stadium. Like I like got to it. Like I was
You
like,
had a
let me
car?
get. No, no, no. I It's crazy because one of my friends at the time, all we were grinding in the same spots, the same exact three spots, and he had a car.
Mm-hmm.
And then also my cousin worked at the baseball stadium. Sometimes I would ride with him. Like it was back in the day. Sometimes you gotta bust it, but the grind was there. It
Okay, but
wasn't. I didn't have.
do you think it's different because you're a guy at that age?
Nah. I think money is money. Money ain't got no gender. You know what I mean? If you want to get to it, you know what I mean. You really want to do things and things to that extent. You have to build some type of independence for yourself. It'd be like everything can't be mom and dad's money. You
Mm.
know what I mean? If you really want it and mom and dad don't agree, or just mom don't agree, or just dad don't agree, we could disagree all we want when it's our money. But when it's your own money, look, do what you do. You know what I
But
mean?
you
And
was in
that's what you
band in
got.
school. How'd you make time to do band? Or was it just during the summer? Did you work during school year too?
During the school year, I did not. I just did band, but
Oh,
I
okay.
but I worked to save up for all of that. You know what I mean?
Okay,
So that
so
was
I
like
did
a
not work in high school. I didn't start working until I went off to college. I did cheer in high school, and there was no time during the year to do that. And I did competition, so it wasn't like I just did football season. I did cheerleading the whole year round. What I did do though was I braided hair. So my little side hustle to pay for cheer and camps and shoes and all those things was braiding hair, and I would braid everyone's hair. When I got to college, I got my first like W-2 situation job. Got some student work studies, and I also did hair. And then there was a time in college where I had three jobs. I think we talked about that before. I had two on-campus jobs, one off-campus job. I worked 6 days a week, church on Sundays. My kid, my oldest, she worked in high school. She started working her senior year, but she also had a vehicle to take herself to and from Build-A-Bears where she used to work. And
but
go
there
ahead.
so there is a difference, right? What I've noticed is there's a difference between having a car down south and up north.
Hmm.
I just want to say because Connecticut and New York, you don't really need a car. Like who drives in New York? You know what I
Fact.
mean?
Mhm.
I was like we just hop on a bus. Like it's literally out here. You gotta hop on a train, to hop on the MARTA, to hop on. Like you need
You
a
got to walk a
car.
couple of miles to get to a bus stop. I didn't live in an area that there was a bus
You need a
stop when I got to
car.
high school. So my brother used to
Yeah,
walk to Burger
but
King.
you saying that like she had a car. I don't really feel no type. Like some people be like, man, she too young. I don't really feel no type of way because my thoughts are it depends on what state you live in.
Right.
Where it's in New York, if somebody's like, "Yeah, I bought her a car, she had a job," in New York for what? If you don't tired to go take that train,
Hmm.
you know what I mean?
And if
It
I was single,
depends.
I would live in a place like that. But I live where, I want my kids to have a yard and things like that. And there's not usually a bus in the area, you know what I'm saying, where I am now or where I was before. So, but I mean, I wanted my kids to have something better than me. So I always told my kids I wasn't paying for college, but I also wanted to support them in other ventures. You know what I mean? So I was surprised that Denise, the grades that she was bringing home, that she went 2 years with no major and she's not contributing anything. And then she thought her parents would give her more money. We talk about spoiled and being blessed. The fact that she thought her parents were going to pay for her trip overseas
But
was
what also
wild.
in other episodes, right? She had money and she wasn't really cautious of how she was feeling. She's like, I bought this magazine, it's so expensive. You remember she owe Maggie money? She was just like,
Where'd she
but
get
I
cash
love,
from?
you know how mad I would be if I was sending my daughter money and she was dropping bread just to see the stuff. If you don't look at that magazine while you in that store, because you're not
And
gonna waste my money.
remember what you
And
liked in that magazine and keep it moving?
then she bought, like, she was like, this hat is so expensive. I normally don't even do this. Girl, you are spending my money. What's
How did she get
happening?
that far though? That I didn't even realize she didn't have a job until this episode. Because Maggie and Jaleesa both work.
Yeah, but dad was also kind of sending money because when she would
Oh,
call
her
home, he'd be
grandparents
like,
too.
and her grandparents. So she had a little bit of bread, you know what I mean? Um, and I also realized that she did work. I felt like,
Oh, she did that
it,
that tutoring gig.
one, yeah, because one of the episodes she had to get a job
Yeah.
because she had to pay dorm fees,
Right. Right. But it wasn't
and she kept,
consistent, is what it feels like.
yeah, her check kept bouncing. Remember
Okay,
when
so
she was
maybe
giving
she
her
did
check?
work, but maybe she didn't work during the summer. And
Nah, she
maybe and
didn't.
maybe when
Like
she worked, she just wasn't contributing to her tuition. Mom said you gotta work and you're gonna contribute to your tuition. So maybe that's the difference. Okay, I
and it
feel better
really
about
was
that.
grades wasn't on it. Mom wasn't getting at her because she was like, with your grades, we're not wasting no more money. And she was like, you need to get a job and contribute towards this because your grades are crap. You know what I mean? For
Yeah.
lack of better word. I get it, man. Like I really get it on that. Now the thoughts are with that. Um, do you feel parents should like fund every dream that your kids should have?
I mean, I think it depends on the age and it depends on like the cost. Like financially funding a little bit, giving a little seed money to, pour into them. I don't think it's a big of a deal. When she first started my daughter has a shea butter business. So when she first started, I gave her $100, 150 for her to get her product up. And then she kind of grew from there. I don't think every single time you change your mind. Jaleesa said she bought like an instrument for her niece. We're not buying three or four or five instruments that's gonna sit in the corner. Them
Right.
things are not cheap.
Better. Yeah, okay, so speaking to that, right? We rocking, Hillman Rewind. Let's rewind a little bit real quick. Daughter's birthday was last year, April,
Yes.
right? But this sorry, this year, April. And I always ask her, what do you want for your birthday, right? Dad, what's crazy is I want to be a vlogger, right? My kid's
I
doing
walked
stuff. You
into that.
never know. My kid may go viral. Who knows?
Hmm.
We got a podcast.
It's
We
money out
rocking
there.
out. You want to be like dad. You want to rock out on the camera. You want to be sociable. I am going to fund this dream.
Hmm.
So I put a MacBook on a payment plan. I funded her a camera, the microphone. I mean, literally, where most people got to get out the mud, I gave it all. Her uncle and aunt gave her a book bag starter kit with more microphones, so she could carry all her stuff in this book bag. Get to it. Hey, what's up,
So she's
y'all?
killing it
This is
now. April, that was months ago. She killing it. She
no
had the whole
content.
summer to vlog, right?
No content. When I tell you these microphones are still in the plastic, when I tell you when a payment came off of that MacBook the other day, I looked at her. I said, "Girl, I don't care if you interview your teddy bear. Somebody's getting interviewed with this stuff that I paid for.
Get my niece's
What's up?
property. That's nice. That's real good. But she's a minor, right? She's in band. She don't have time to have like no regular job.
Plug and band. Bring your stuff with you and say, "Hey guys, in the section, we just talking, blah 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 blah. Here, put the mic on you." I don't care if it's just for fun. Give me some content. Show me that you playing with this stuff because I walked in your room earlier today and the MacBook just laying on the bed, so you carrying it with you. That's cute. Where's the content?
I think that's
If
that's
we,
really nice that you funded that. And I think that she still has time to get it together.
if you don't
I'm
get me
excited for
some
her. I'm gonna
that
text her.
content,
I'm gonna text her and
bro,
check in.
when I tell you you gonna have at least one view because I want to see the content.
Okay,
What's
what if she
up?
changed her mind? Hypothetically. Hypothetically, let's say she decides she won't do that anymore. How can she tell you that in a way that's not disrespectful or making you more upset?
Dad, I realize I get real nervous. Vlogging is really not my thing. I'm like, okay, cool, no problem. Rock with the MacBook. I'm gonna need the camera and the microphones back so I can use them. If you're not gonna use it, and I would make sure that wherever it goes, the people are using it. Like because you also got to think again. I'm in the gym. I could sell it to my trainer, right?
Mhm.
I could be like, yo, my daughter wasn't vlogging or whatever.
You can
I
sell
know
it to
she got
me. I got dreams.
like I'm just saying, I
I
can
feel
make
you.
use. You
I
know what I'm
agree.
saying?
Yeah.
And my thoughts are be keep it funky with me. If you change your mind, which kids these days do really fast, tell me so I can make use of it. You know
Right.
what I mean? Don't let it sit and gather. When I tell you these microphones in my armrest, she didn't even mention them. She got three sets of microphones, and one set is sitting in there. She ain't like, man, I'm trying to put microphones on all my friends. Where? Man, I don't know where the other set. Ain't heard it, and they gonna sit there.
She's
So I'm
gonna
gonna
get
wait.
it. She's gonna get it together. She might have more time this year too.
I
Is this her
think
junior year? What year is she going into?
sophomore year.
Sophomore year. Freshman year one.
Talk to me. Tell. You don't gotta be disrespectful, but be honesty. I can't stand a liar. I can't stand a thief. So just be honest. Tell me what it is, and we could make it work. You know what I mean? That's my thing.
Okay. All right. So, this mother-daughter dynamic. We just talked about father and daughter dynamic. Do you remember when they went to dinner at the end and she's like, Denise is eating all mad, and she tells her mom, you really hate me. Why are you being nice to me? Do you remember that?
Yep. That's
Okay.
when they was at. That's when they was at dinner.
Yeah. That's what I said because you're distracted. Yeah.
I,
So tough love,
they
right?
also. Who did she sit with? Who did she sit with in front of the dorm? That wasn't Denise. That was the dorm director.
Okay.
No, I had to think about where the conversation because she also had a moment of being irresponsible and didn't get to her mom in the airport in time.
Yeah, she wasn't. Yeah, the mom got to the house. Yeah, I don't understand that. I don't understand how she missed her mom at the airport.
My
But
thoughts are: don't tell me that you hate me and you forgot me at the airport. Don't tell me that I hate you and you forgot me. You
I
know
don't
what I'm
understand
saying?
the I
Like,
hate you anyway from a parent that's like paying your tuition and feeding you and giving you all the things. How could she possibly hate you when she's still giving you all this stuff? And I feel like sometimes kids assume their parents are so hard on them, but they can only see it's like they can only see like what's directly in front of them what they want to see. They don't really see the whole big picture. I don't know when they grow out of that 'cause I have a 20-year-old and she ain't out of it. She
kids
does
are
see me.
emotional
She
though.
does. Huh?
Kids are emotional though.
People
If you
are
really think
emotional.
about
We're
it.
all human.
But I mean, like in moments of people want what they want, right?
Okay.
And not getting what you want, it's like you hate me. You don't want me to go to Italy because you hate me. It's like, or you're my broke bestie, and I need you to get your life together
She had a plan
because
though.
we're
Denise had a plan of how she was going to flip her mom. She had a timeline and she didn't get to execute any of it. She didn't think past if anything deviated from her plan. And she was telling
Right.
everybody that she was going before she even spoke to her parents. That's her fault. Had she not told Stevie and everyone on campus she was going before she talked to her mom, then she wouldn't have got caught up in the moment. It wouldn't have mattered. She could have did her plan exactly how it was, and she still wasn't going.
You know, kids do this even now. Back then, this is what I love about a different world because kids don't change. My daughter, and I'm pretty sure Gabby does the same, right? Pretty sure.
Give it to
Hey, how you doing? Like, I'm good. And you know something's coming up, right? How's your day? Hey, skip all that. What you want, right? My daughter's. Can I ask a question? You just did. Right? Like, do you have another question? Yes, that's my answer, right?
hmm
And then they hit you with whatever they want, right? But they want to see what type of mood you are in prior to. Why wait for your mom to get there? Why come up with the whole plan? You should have asked her on the phone before she flew out there to tell you about to get a job. So then you could have known what type of mood to be in when she got there. Because she would
I
have
mean, but
told
the
you that
mom
maybe.
waited too, though. The mom waited until she got there to give her the news.
Right, but the thoughts also are like you were like, okay, I'm flying out there anyway. I'm gonna talk to her. We're gonna talk at that time, right? You told everybody. You didn't tell the whole family that she's going to get a job. She just told the husband when we get there, I'm gonna have that talk with her. She told every single friend. The friends were planning around her going on the trip. But the friends like, oh, we're gonna get down there. We're gonna. Oh, it only costs $1 for the hotel,
It
and it's
was
gonna be.
like $3.
Yeah, it was like between the three of them, right?
Only two of them were going, and it was like $3 each. It was like 650 or something per night.
But if you think about it, y'all already made plans of how much it's gonna cost, the activities, y'all
Where
done
you
did
gonna
all of
stay?
this,
Yeah, and didn't even
all
mention
of
it to her
this.
mom.
Didn't even, not even an inkling. But you talked about picking her up from the airport,
No, she didn't even plan that.
right?
She didn't plan that until literally the day of. Remember, she had to borrow a car. She didn't even have a
Right, but
plan
no,
for how
she
she was gonna get it.
planned it. A conversation with mom. Mom knew she was coming to get her.
Yeah. My thing
You know
is,
what I
you made a
mean?
good point. You said all kids kind of do the same thing. For everybody listening, parents know their kids. So immediately after she found out that Denise had made that plan, she called her husband and was like, "Cliff, don't talk to her. She gonna try to call you. She gonna try to get around me, but don't talk to her." So as soon as Denise called home, he already knew. And the baby was like, "Dad's gonna get in trouble if he talks to you. So work it out, mommy."
It's
I love
like
that
can't
part.
talk to you.
I love
Mom said that you'll get in trouble. You can't call home. You can't talk to. But that's like a thing, right? But
their partners.
also the thought was Denise was messing up left and right. Good person, but she
Good
be
heart.
messing. Grades are terrible. You plan around as if you know what people are thinking, right?
Mhm.
And you're just not be keep it funky.
So how do you
Keep
get
it
out of
funky.
that? Because, life happens and kids come back home and kids fail. How do you get around that? I'm like authentically asking. I'm just curious. How do you help your kid out of that situation?
Um, what my parents did, well, not my parents, my dad, right? My mom was kind of real chill. My mom is like, I'll take care of you forever. That's my mom's mentality. My dad, the first time I came home, hey son, don't mind you coming home, blah 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 blah. You got 3 months to get a job, and then I'm gonna need rent out of you. And it ain't nothing to break your pockets, but you're like, hey, look. Normally, when you go to pay rent, your rent will be 1,200. I want four, right?
Okay.
You're not renting a whole spot. And with my dad never spent the money.
They
I
give
was
it back
paying
to you in
rent,
the end.
and when it was time for me to get my own, like move on or move or get my own spot, my dad like, here, boom, throw it back. You know what I mean? Like he didn't really spend it on just miscellaneous stuff. Like you you charge it to the game while still taking care of them. Hey, this is what you're gonna do, and this is how much I need up out of you. You just put it to the side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Put it to the side. Don't help with the bills. Like, come on, you already was gonna pay the bills whether they're or not, right?
hmm
You know what I mean? They're your kid, but you do teach them the independence of this ain't a free ride.
Right.
'Cause I told my daughter, I said, you go to college, your room becomes a guest room. So when you come over, you're sleeping in the guest room, not your room. I just want you to be aware of that. When you're 18, your room is gone and it becomes a guest room, and family that comes over will sleep in that room just the same. I just
Mhm.
want you to be aware. So when you see generic stuff, when all the girly stuff is gone and you see generic stuff in there, it's because that room is now officially a guest room, and your address is college. I want you to know that.
Okay, Daddy.
She thinks it's a game. She thinks it's a joke. I'm so serious. It
I
will
believe you the
definitely.
first time you said it.
TV will still be in there, but the little decor of girliness will be gone, and it will become the generic. Like my dad comes to town, you are sleeping in the guest room. Like that's just what it is. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Because I do believe that some people have such a comfort level of I always have my room. No, you won't. You won't. I'm sorry. You'll have the guest room that you come over to sleep in when you come over to the crib. There's no offense. There's no beef. You can still put your stuff in the drawers for all I care. You know what I mean? But that
So
closet will
all
be
of her stuff
generic.
has to leave with her when she goes to college. She can't even leave clothes at your house.
Clothes. It's be in a drawer.
Okay.
When people come, they don't use the drawers. You sleep out of your suitcase. You know what I mean?
But
So
she
I
can't
ain't
have
worried
any
about that.
personal effects. Wait, so when she's 18, so when she comes home for like the summer, for Christmas, things like that, that's not her room, that's the guest room.
That is the guest room.
Okay.
Drop her off at college and come back and switch it up. Yeah, I got a lot of work to do. She's like, "What are you getting into for the rest of
But
the day?"
college
I'm gonna
isn't
say,
permanent. Maybe when she gets her first apartment, maybe 2 years in, when she moves out of the college dorm, that dorm is not okay. Let's discuss it later. What we didn't talk
uh,
about, I forgot to say earlier, huh?
nah. That I love the negotiation because her godmom tries the same thing. No,
We'll talk about it
she
later.
comes
We
in
got
with you.
time. We got what, 2.5 years? We got 2 years.
You
It's
give her
cool.
a room.
3.
My room is still.
We'll talk about it. Whitley's birthday. I forgot to mention that part. Remember she had a birthday in the episode?
She did have a birthday in the episode that she thought everybody forgot. She thought that everybody was so busy, super busy for it.
Hmm.
Um,
We brought up friends a couple of
with
times, right? So what do you think about the friendships that were explored in this episode?
I think it was great friendships. I think I just don't. I think people don't do that anymore. People are entitled these days compared to back then. They weren't necessarily. Whitley's entitled, but not entitled enough to make anybody do anything. Like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm busy doing more. Like, I love the fact that they were doing a lot of acting. How was I today? Everybody knows that Ron don't like Whitley, but he still put the act on for his lady. You know what I mean?
Who says he doesn't
And
like her?
he doesn't like her.
He helps her
He
with
showed.
her humidifier.
No, no, no. His girl asked him to help with the humidifier.
So they're not friends, but he doesn't dislike her. You know, that's his best friend's best friend. I mean, that's his girl's best friend.
Right. Is actually it's his girlfriend's. His girlfriend's the lackey.
If you ask Millie, Millie would say that Whitley was her best friend.
You ask Whitley, and Whitley will say that that's her
But
assistant.
he's not friends with Whitley, so he only has perception of Maleficent.
I'm friends with Whitley, and she thought it was disgusting for her to even date Ron.
This is true. This is true. But Ron doesn't know that. Ron doesn't know that.
No,
I'm
he.
saying I don't know if Ron dislikes her because he was really nice to her on this episode.
You not remember the comments that she made when she first saw them together? When she thought that when she was looking for what's the guy, Doctor Love, she was looking for the guy, and the guy was Dwayne. You remember
Hmm.
that?
Hmm.
And um, when she saw them two together, she said stuff in front of Ron.
I don't remember what she said,
I
but
guess she was just like, "I'm happy for you
all I'm
too."
saying is I don't think Ron spends time thinking about Whitley enough to dislike.
No, I don't think that. I think him and Dwayne don't like her at this moment.
Well, I think Dwayne is gonna come around. They're gonna be friends.
You know, whatever.
I don't even think they
Everybody.
dislike her anymore. I think they accept who she is. I think she's moved past the dislike. I think only person I think that doesn't like her is Jaleesa. I think everyone else can tolerate Whitley and can like Whitley. Jaleesa's the only one that doesn't like her for real, for real.
I don't like her either.
Maggie likes everybody.
She doesn't.
Maggie likes
I think
everybody.
no, she doesn't like everybody.
Anyway,
She
so
was
they
she
got
was
her birthday cake.
matter of fact, she was the one that made the bet against Dwayne. She was super hyped up on that bet against Dwayne.
She
They
still likes
genuinely
everybody. Talking about the dating the girl.
yeah dating a girl. Remember
That
she was
doesn't mean
like eh,
Maggie likes everybody. And I'm gonna stick to that. Maggie likes everybody. Maggie is the sweetest character on the show. She likes everybody. For real.
yeah.
I really think she does. I was gonna say though, we mentioned it earlier, but I like how all the friends came to bat for her. Remember when Willie had that issue with the daddy and the girl he was dating? Everyone came for her back then. They were nice, right? They liked Whitley. She's a part of the crew.
I think
She separates herself.
I can see that. I really feel like people it's kind of hard to explain because like everybody knows Whitley is bougie, stuck up, all that other good stuff, and they get on the nerves. But deep down, they're like, she's still a person. You know what I mean? So I think they back everybody.
Have
I
you
don't think
watched
there's
episode
anybody.
20 yet?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I don't
I
think
want us to get into
anybody
it
in
on
the,
the next episode.
I don't think anybody in the whole school like they just all like each other. Like it's like a thing. Like
I
outside
really want
of
to
the
know her
two,
story. I don't remember it. I don't know why she's so, I don't know, like maybe she's had a hard childhood.
who?
Whitley, I know that she had money, but she's like very guarded. She only let Maleficent and Millie in.
That's because she thinks like she's above everybody else.
I think it's
Hence
deeper
the
than that.
humidifier sleeps to like bug noises. I think she's just
I think
like,
she wants
and
friends.
she
She just
said,
doesn't know how to get them.
I also think people that have an abundance of funds that way, they act like that. You know what I mean? Like they don't have real relationships until they're put in situations to have them. It's about who you know and what you can get from people. You know what I mean? Like and what you want. Like I just think that's kind of like Kevin Hart said it before. He was like, "Man, I have a private school kid." Right? That's pretty much that's
Hmm.
like when he talks about it, it's like me and my flops. Like it was like they have this sense of entitlement. You know what I mean?
But they also had each other.
So
Really, I don't know if she has any siblings. So she just doesn't, I don't think she knows how to.
she's the only child.
They say that?
They said it when they thought the secretary was her sister.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, she acts like it. She acts like she's the only child. So she just gotta get around that. I mean, I think that's everything I want to cover though. You have anything else you want to cover from this episode?
Um, I did want to ask, how do you how do you balance, or have you ever been in a situation where you had to balance like being independent and actual reality for what it is? Like, and when I say that, it's like to a point where some people are so independent they don't ask for help. When do you be like, man, the reality is I need help. Look,
Are you talking about
this
back
ain't
then
going.
or right now?
I
Or
think
just in
on
general?
both sides, better than you now. I think that independence has not stopped, especially in the
I mean,
women
you know me,
aspect.
right? I'm like a really, really independent person. And I think it took maturity to start to ask for help. I think that when I was younger, I was humbled in a lot of situations because I was a mom and there was just things I couldn't do. So even me moving back home, it wasn't a choice that I wanted to make. And I probably could have roughed it out if I was a single person, but I had a little person depending on me. So I've humbled myself a lot when it comes to my kids. But there's other times that I didn't. Like my first apartment by myself, my power was off. My gas was off a lot. Not the power, but the gas was off. So we didn't have hot water. And I've never asked or never told anyone for help. But looking back as an adult, like a full blown adult, me asking for $25, $35 to pay for a gas bill is not really a lot of money for other adults. I could have asked an
Right.
aunt or an uncle or someone, but back then it felt like defeat that I couldn't pay my gas bill. You know what I mean? It's like you put gas in your car, you put gas in your house. And I always pick my car. So I think that as I got older and I realized that everybody needs help sometimes, I'm more humbled now. I'm thankful that I don't have issues like that, but I still have to humble myself when it comes to, I mean, just small things, just not knowing I don't know everything. And knowing that I don't know everything is the most humbling thing to me when it comes to like asking for help.
Now think about this. By being in college, like Denise, she should have had a humbling reality moment when when she finally her and her mom talked. They were at dinner and they are now loving each other again. She's like, um well, you don't have to get a job yet. Let's start with dinner. Reality, when she was like, Mom, I love you, but I can't afford this. I don't have any money to pay for this. That should have told you off. That should have been a reality moment of, yo, I'm really am taking advantage of my parents. Like, because I am my mom's broke bestie. Like, that's just what it is right now. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just I think that some people be broke and delusional. You
Ain't
know
no
what I mean?
some. A
It's
lot of people do that.
broke but with rich thoughts. I mean,
I got
like
some
rich people.
examples. You know how people say they house broke? You spend all this money on buying a house, but then you can't furnish it. Or people that take loans out to get married, knowing they can't pay them back. Some people take loans
Or
out and they can pay them in a couple of years, but some people just need to get married. Steve Harvey said that. You can just go to the courthouse and get married. You ain't got to spend 200K on a wedding. That's ridiculous to
or
me.
person who gets their refund check and they put money on a car but don't can't afford the car note. You know what I mean? They're like,
Mhm.
oh man, look, I want this charger. You know what I mean? I
No.
want this Hellcat.
If
I
you're
got
gonna
this
buy a
income.
car with your refund, you need to buy a cash car. You need to be paid for
Right.
it and it's done.
I realize you got this beamer. Your refund check was the down payment. You still gotta pay for this thing.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's not just college kids. I'm not even gonna act like it's just people in college. Like a lot of grown folks do the same thing. There was a lady I saw a video recently. She was on a date and she told the guy that she was living out of a hotel. And he was like, I don't really feel like you should be focusing on dating. You should be focusing on finding somewhere to live. She's
Right.
recording him talking trash because he said that to her. And she's like, look at my car. I got a nice car. I drive a real nice car. You shouldn't worry about where I'm living. I got a good paying job. He said, we've got a good paying job. Why are you living in a hotel? Why are you paying by the night? Make that make sense. She said that she had bad credit or something, but that's not responsible to me. Your reality is skewed if you don't have nowhere to live.
You're spending way more at that hotel than you would at somebody's rent, even if
Fixing your
you
credit and
went
getting
to
you even an
a
apartment.
house.
You don't got to get you a house. You can get something else.
No,
So
that's
yeah, it
real.
happens all the time for sure.
I don't have anything else. I think we are down to no. I'm excited to know where are we at? Hillman Homework.
Homework. Give us the homework.
Okay, so Hillman family, the Hillman Homework, right? This week's homework. Tell us about a time someone gave you a hard truth that helped you grow, right? Tag us, share it. Hillman Homework hashtag Hillman Homework Instagram. We are now on YouTube, so you can put voice to the face, right?
Yes, yes.
Right.
Check us out.
I want to say to help you guys out. My example is like I have friends that always tell me the truth. Like
Hmm.
I hope they always telling me the truth, right? But um, sometimes I'm just a person with thick skin. But there is sometimes where it's like, wake up. This is what it is, and it is hard to take in, but it allows me to be better at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
Um, I've had moments where I've dated people, like where I have had girlfriends in the past, and my girlfriend was for the streets, and my friends was like, "Yo, look, like, bro, she that ain't it, right?" And you know, you super in love, you don't want to listen, but it hurts, you know what I'm saying? But nowadays, You tell me she for the streets, I'm a red flag there. I'm gone because it allowed me to be able to see those red flags and not live within those red flags and to kind of keep it pushing. You know.
I have a line sister who um she's like my homie. She always tells me the truth. She tells me when to sit myself down. And she doesn't say it in a nice way all the time, but I know that when she tells me, she means it from the heart. She tells me that I'm unrealistic. Like I put so much pressure on myself and it doesn't always pan out because I have so much on my plate. And I might not hear it the first time she tells me, but because I trust her, like when I moved, I had like a 3 day turnaround between leaving one house, closing, getting to another one and closing. And she was like, Nichole,
Mm.
like that's crazy. That's crazy, right? So I know that if I'm going through something or if I can't see the forest through the trees, if I went to this LS, she gonna tell me what it is. And even if I don't understand it, I trust her to know that it'll help me grow after the fact. So I appreciate having people. And I think I could do that with you too. If I have something I really need filtered, you know what I'm saying? You don't have no sugar. It's no honey over there. You're gonna just tell me what it is. And because I love you and I know that you love me, I will
Take your
accept it
medicine.
when I'm processing it.
Take your medicine. It's all
You know what I'm
good.
saying? And I will. I will take my medicine when I need to. Okay, well, are you ready for my line from the show?
Yeah, I'm definitely ready for this quote. You're gonna be surprised at the song that I picked, but definitely ready.
Okay, I had two, but I stuck to this one because I want to be consistent with just giving you one. So this happens at the dinner with the mom and the daughter. And the first part of this is kind of common, but I liked how it ends. So it says, you're not afraid to fail. You're afraid you're going to succeed, and people will expect you to work hard all the time. So I think I've heard the quote, you're afraid to succeed or you're afraid you're going to fail. But that's not the part that's scary. The scary part is doing so abundantly well that you don't feel like you can stay with that caliber. And I just want to say that you should go for it. You should have faith in yourself and just do it. Fail, succeed, whatever the case may be. I feel like we shouldn't sell ourselves short because we don't know what's on the other side of that task. So that's my quote.
Right. I like that. I
You
like
like
that.
it?
And then a lot of kids these days, like my daughter went through that. My daughter was like, man, they get more work than they successful, so she kind of backed off a little bit
Hmm.
and was like, nah, don't do that. But now that she's in high school, she's been kind of rocking at all cylinders. She's in school right now, and they gave us her first like week's report, and she had all the hundreds across the board. So
That's what's
yeah,
up.
she's really. So my song, you ready for this?
I am.
It actually goes with what you were just talking about. My song is 1979,
Okay.
The Gap Band. You dropped a bomb on me. When mom told her she had to go to work.
I like that
You
song.
dropped
I'm happy I know it.
on. Yeah.
That's a
That's
good one.
that's
That's a real good song. I like it. Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, there you have it. Episode 19 is in the books. Um, appreciate you. Appreciate you making time. Appreciate like all the back and forth we've had to do to make this happen. I enjoy doing this with you, my brother.
yeah,
Hillman
yeah.
family. Remember, words have power. Make yours count.
Right, and like a good beat, keep the vibe going and let the music play.
Peace.
See y'all next time. See y'all next time.